Learning Zilu and Nishmas Etta Ahuva Bas Yaakov. Masechet Kesubos Perek Yud Aleph Mishna Gimel. Machra Kesuvasa Oimik Sasa. If she sells her Kesuva, which Taisus explains is the mana umasayim, the basic of a Kesuva without the Taisefes, Oimik Sasa or part of the mana umasayim. Mashkin of Kesuvasa Oimik Sasa. She gave her Kesuva as a mashkin to someone else in exchange of a loan that she received, Oimik Sasa, or some of her mashkin. Nosna Kesuvasa la'achar Oimik Sasa. She gave away her Kesuva to someone else or part of it. Kol shekain if she was moichel to the Yisaimim. Tanakama held that collecting part of the Kesuva already now they no longer have a chiyuv to feed her mezainis. Miksas Kesuva is kechol Kesuva. So now the halacha is, since she's no longer collecting mezainis, leisimker sashar, if she wants to sell the remaining part of the Kesuva, the hainu the Taisefes Kesuva, she could only sell it el bebezin, only bebezin. It's going like the shita of Reb Shimon in the prior Mishnah, that the only time you're allowed to sell it outside bezin was only for mezainis. And over here, since the Tanakama held that miksas is kechol kesef, and therefore she can't get any mezainis anymore, so therefore she could only sell it bebezin. Mashenke mechachamim, the chachamim hold mecheresi afil arba v'chamisha pamim. She could sell part of it and then a little more and a little more, and then she still has a right to collect mezainis because they held that miksas kesef is not kechol kesef, and therefore since she's selling it for mezainis, she could sell it even outside bezin. Mecheres mezainis shaloi bebezdin. The Kesubos l'mezainis macharti. The Gemara earlier explained that this is a eitzah tova, that people shouldn't say that she's a Rav Senusa, that she eats a lot, and she's selling her whole Kesuva because she's desperate for food. So therefore, what she sells for food, she should write that she's selling for mezainis, and that what she's selling for the Kesuva, she should write that I'm selling for the Kesuva. The last line in the Mishnah, we said yesterday, v'gerusha leisimker el bebezin, that gerusha is only allowed to sell it in bezin. So we said, according to the reason of the Tanakam in the prior Mishnah, that the reason why she's allowed to sell outside bezin is because a husband doesn't want his wife to be embarrassed, to have to go to bezin. Ein adam roitze shetesbaze ishte bebezin. And over here by gerusha, he's more than happy for her to get embarrassed. So then the halacha would be she could only sell it in bebezin. And we said, according to the other reason, that it was al-tzchein, and it was because of that they wanted women to get married to men and not have issues of collecting Kesuva, and therefore they said because of that chen that she does not have to go to bezin to collect. So he's going to have to zet sign that this Mishnah that says a gerusha has to sell it in bezin is going like Reb Shimon. Mishnah Dalid, Almana Sha'isa Ksuvasa Masayim. Almana that had a Ksuva of 200, and the Baal had a field. Umachra Shava Mana b'Masayim. Now she's selling a field which was only worth a mana, but she gets a great deal and she sells it for 200. So, or the opposite, Shava Masayim b'Mana, or the field was be'etzem worth 200, but she only sold it for a mana. So the Mishnah says, in either one of these ways, in the skablu ksuvasa, it's as if she collected the full 200. So in the case of Shava Masayim b'mana, where she sold a 200 field, but she only got a mana, it's because the Yisaimim could tell her, it's your loss, you lost out, you should have sold the Shava Masayim b'masayim, because you sold it for less of amount, we're going to lose out. So therefore, since be'etzem the karka was worth 200, we look at it as if she collected the whole 200, even though she only got 100 out of it. But the question is, in the reverse, Frekti Gemara, if it was a field that was worth 100 and she sold it for 200, so she should be able to say that I got a good deal. Anar Vachna, I made more money, so that profit should go to me and you should still owe me a mana. So the Gemara says that you see from here that if you send a shliach to the shuk to get you a business, to buy something for you, and they get a really good deal, the money goes to the Baal HaMois, to the Mishaleach. And this is only by Davar She'ein Le'kitzva Le'karka, that sometimes it's sold for this price, sometimes it's sold for that price. But the Gemara says that something which would have a set price, and it's very clear that it was the Shliach's doing, that he got a good deal out of it, and he still got a better price. So then the Rav brings out the Maskana, the Fuman Dechazila, is in such a case they would split it, the Shliach and the Mishaleach. The Mishnah continues. So over here the issue is that she sold more than she was allowed to. She was only entitled to a mana, and she sold a mana v'dinar. So the Gemara said, you would think it's a mekach tois. Even if she says, I'll give you back that extra dinar, and therefore only at the end of the day sold a mana b'mana. No, because since Lamaisa she sold more, she sold a mana v'dinar, it's a mecher batal, and we don't look at it that you could give it back. That's what the Tanakama held. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer know that she could give it back. Lo'ilo mecher kayim, and she could give back that extra dinar, unless ad shetehisham kidei sheteshayir besada bas tisha kabim ubegino bas chatzi kab uchidiv Akiva base roiva. So if the amount of the ino was the amount of a chashavas field, which by a sada is tisha kabim, by a gina is chatzi kabim, by according to Akiva, that agina is a base roiva. So then, since it's a chashav a man, then even Reb Shimon ben Gamliel is masking that you can't say I'm going to give back the dinar. The last halacha of the Mishnah is haisuk arba mea zuz. Let's say she had a ksuva of 400 zuz, and she sold 4 fields to 4 different people. Machal lezebimana, and the Mishnah lezebimana, and on the last mana la'achar and yafem mana v'dinar. B'mana. Instead of selling a mana, she sold a mana v'dinar, like we said before. So over here, we look at each mechira as separate. So the same way we said before, if you sold a mana v'dinar and you were only entitled to sell a mana, it's mecher batal. So over here also, the 4th mechira though only shall acharain batal, because that was the part that you sold extra, the mana v'dinar. But v'shal kulan, the first 3 manas, those mechira is kayim.